Okay, everybody, welcome to the City of Sweetwater Special Commission meeting. Meeting date Monday, August 15th, 2016. It's supposed to be at 8 o'clock, and I have 8:03. Commission Chambers, 500 Southwest 109 Avenue. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Clerk will note the absence of Commissioner Yanio.
Okay, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Dear God and good Father in the heavens, Lord, thank you for this commission, for everyone in this legislative body. Thank you for our city, for our residents. Bring some reliefs, oh Lord, to those that are ill or suffering from the loss of a loved one. We ask you to be with Commissioner Yanio on her trip to New York. Bring her back with good. And we always ask you for protection for our police force and our armed forces everywhere they are, trying to keep us away from danger and fighting to have the privilege, O Lord, of enjoying liberty and democracy. Now guide us with your wisdom throughout the meeting, because in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. For public comments, anybody wish to come up? Jose Cuenca, I keep saying it wrong. Cuenca. Sorry.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, City employees, residents. I first wanted to say I wanted to commend the city for, first of all, I noticed that there were some signs put up at certain points in the city, no parking, no standing, which is a good thing to preserve our environment, the grassy areas. And I also want to commend the city for the park project that is going to happen. I think it's great. Getting the grant, I think, will be a great thing to promote well-being and you know, be healthy and so forth and so on. I think it's great what the city's doing with the park. What I wanted to ask in regards to today's meeting is the resolution, the first resolution for the interlocal agreement to design and construct roadway improvement projects. I noticed that it's only a small area in Northwest. I was just wondering why not the rest of the city? Can someone answer that?
This one in particular right now is being done in combination where the Beacon Trade Port, it's a builders association that's on the north side that they do infrastructure improvements to the north side. They are actually, Brett Houston is there and he's one of the board members there, where they are fronting the expenses on it so that later impact fees repay these. These would be normally improvements for infrastructures that the city would normally do in part when impact fees are paid. In a normal situation, let's say if we had a capital improvement program, a CIP, we'd be able to have like a piggy bank to be able to do the infrastructure where part would be paid by the city and part would be reimbursed by grants. In this case, we don't do it. You know, this place we're going to be able to do it because the Beacon Trade Port, the business owners in the north side are actually going to float a bond. They are the ones that are requesting the bond. A bond is a government loan to be able to do the infrastructures on it where the city is going to repay it afterwards.
The city will repay the bond.
Correct.
What will be the rate?
I believe there is no interest rate. It's interest free.
No.
When we repay the bond, do we pay interest? Are we paying interest on the bond?
If I may, the city attorney can explain a little better.
Just a point of clarification, the city will not be the one paying the bonds. The district, Beacon Trapper, which is a community development district, they're the ones that are gonna go ahead and issue the bonds, and they're the ones responsible to pay the bonds. The agreement that is the subject of tonight's meeting basically is an agreement between two governmental entities. One, the CDD, the Beacon Trapper CDD Community Development District, and the city. The city, as the mayor pointed out, is responsible for improvements in city roads. In this particular case, the district is proposing to the city, hey, and we know it's your responsibility, but it benefits us, so we're gonna go ahead and issue bonds so we can, take care of the projects. And whenever there is development in the adjacent areas where those road improvements will be taking place, then the city collects impact fees. Those impact fees then will go to the district
To
to
repay the bond.
repay them.
Can you elaborate on the impact fees? I'm sorry, I don't know what that.
Impact fees are collected whenever there is new development, whenever there is development taking place in different parcels. If the specific development creates additional impact to the city's infrastructure, whether it is transportation, police, general government, because of the type of development, then there is a mechanism in place that requires developers to pay impact fees for that development. So basically what you have here, whenever development takes place in the properties adjacent to those road improvements, to the extent that impact fees are collected, those impact fees then would normally be utilized to take care of the roads or to improve the road, but because those improvements are gonna be handled by the district, then when we get impact fees, the city would then pay those to the district to reimburse them for their expenses. Now, mind you that the district is taking a risk, because if within that time frame the development does not take place at a certain level to be able to repay the full amount of the cost of those projects, after the 30 years, basically the district could take a loss if there's not enough development that generates the necessary amount of impact fees to reimburse the district.
I see. So are we paying 100% of the impact fees back?
It's 100% of impact fees.
Road.
It's only transportation-related impact fees, because there are different levels of impact fees.
Okay.
Only the transportation-related impact fees, and only to the extent that they are collected in the parcels that are abutting those roads that are being improved. So only those properties will be the one in that area will be contributing, in the designated area will be contributing in impact fees for reimbursement.
And in the category of transportation, you mentioned?
Only transportation impact fees, because there are 4 categories: transportation,
5.
police, general service, parks.
5.
5.
Okay, thank you, sir. The second resolution for tonight regarding the local mitigation strategy, is there any cost to us? Is it more or less the same, or is it different? Is there any cost to the city?
There's no additional cost, but it's actually going to be pulled because it was presented as a resolution. It's supposed to be an ordinance, so it's going to be pulled tonight and discussed in September.
Correct. And what that allows, the city has to take several steps to be able to extend the benefit to property owners and reduce flood insurance rates. So this is one of the many things that the city has to undertake to be able to facilitate that to the residents.
Okay, so this will be discussed tonight?
No, it's not going to be
No, not
discussed.
tonight.
No, it's not going to be,
For our next meeting.
the next meeting will be.
Yeah, because it came out as a resolution, it's supposed to be an ordinance. So it was written wrong, so they'll redo it and bring it to the next meeting.
Oh, I see, it wasn't, okay, I see. The other concern I have is regarding the last meeting with the potential increase in taxes to cover, my understanding is it to bring the reserves up to par? Or I don't know if it's the operating expenses, I'm not sure, but What is, do we have a reserve requirement? Does the city have a reserve requirement?
What the auditing standards require, well, not require, recommend is a minimum of 3 to 4 months of reserves.
Okay.
3 or 4 months of an $18 million budget is roughly $1.5 million a year, so $4.5 to $6 million a year. The city at the moment has less than $100,000 in reserves. But the budget that was originally presented would have put approximately $500,000 into reserves. So it was not going to be that catalyst to put $4 or $5 million in reserves.
So you're saying the increase in taxes would cover it, or?
It would have put $500,000 in reserves. It's to cover operational costs of the city.
So the increase in taxes is to cover the operational?
Correct.
The purpose is mainly for the operation expenses?
It's all operations. Only $500,000 was generated for reserves.
Mr. President, just as additional information, the entire budget is still a work in progress. So it's still somewhat of a moving target. What you had there was the initial proposal. It still has to be worked out through its permutations in the first budget meeting in November, and then for final adoption in the second meeting. So all of that is still a work in progress as to what the budget is ultimately going to look like.
Or September.
I'm sorry, September.
September.
Sorry about that, September.
What is the city doing to look for, I know that doing a lot of the improvements and things of this nature in the parks and things like that, but what other sources of revenue is the city looking at to maybe get closer to the reserve requirement and/or operating expenses? And do we have a time frame, a projection as to, I guess that's all being worked out through the budget?
The only major source of revenues for a city is the ad valorem taxes. The city receives revenue sources from a lot of other things. It receives apart from excise taxes, from business licensing, but the general source of revenue, the only one that the city can control, are the ad valorems. There are revenues that come from the state as well as the county. We can't raise those. The only one that you can really fluctuate, that you can work on, is ad valorems.
Do businesses pay the same rate that residences do?
Correct.
They pay the same rate? What steps is the city taking to reduce expenses?
We've laid off about 40% of the entire employment staff of the city. We've put a freeze on all unnecessary spending in the city. We've looked at every single contractual expense and tried to reduce the expenses on everything. Everything we've been able to try to spend less on, we're spending less on.
I've heard I know this is not a word no one likes to hear, but I've heard the word bankruptcy thrown around. Are we at risk? Is the city at risk?
I would say we are. We are. There's a slew. If you'd like to, you can read State Statute 218.503, which is financial emergency, that it dictates, 5 or 6 or 7 crucial steps that put a city in financial risk. We meet a handful of them. When you have past due obligations that the city owes for more exceeding 90 days, you're already there. We've got past due pension obligations. We owe the garbage company more than 3 months. We owe Miami-Dade for their fuel more than 3 months. We meet the requirements there. Even the projections that the independent city auditor gave, we theoretically run out of money sometime in August.
Okay, that's pretty much, I was gonna say that 3 minutes or.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
Anything else?
You can call me
Feel
whatever
free to
you
call
like,
in.
and
Okay.
so
Thank
we don't
you.
have to take this forum to be able to do these.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor, Commissioner.
Through the chair,
Sir.
I'd like to make not a public comment, but a commissioner comment. Short one.
Yes, sir.
And this has nothing to do personally with you, Mr. Cuencas. This has been going on for several months. Before, everybody who stand there from the public has to say his name
Oh, yes.
and address. He didn't do it because he was not requested to do it, so
Right.
he did what he had to do. So
Right.
we should do it in Miami-Dade County. They do that all the time. It's sacred. Because I understand that our president get a roster with the name of the person, the address. The city clerk knows it too. But the other commissioners, the audience,
Right, no, I forgot. I forgot to-
a hundred
my
of
fault.
television viewers, they don't know.
Right.
For the most part, Bergie, he's on the ball. He's always done it. He dropped the ball today, but yeah, he requested.
No, the last time too, a couple of people brought it up to me.
With all due respect,
Okay,
President.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
We'll take care of it from now on.
Thank you, thank
Okay.
you.
Alrighty. Go on to item 5. A resolution of the mayor and the city commission of the city of Sweetwater, Florida, authorizing the mayor to execute an amended and restated interlocal agreement with the Beacon Tradeport Community Development District for the design and construction of roadway improvement projects within the city of Sweetwater and providing for an effective date.
Move.
I got a motion by Commissioner Diaz, second by Commissioner Barreto. All in favor?
Hello, I have, hold on, too fast. Section 2 and Section 2 is repeated twice on page 2. So I could assume that the second Section 2 should be Section 3.
It's a scrivener, sir, should
In the
be
resolution.
changed to section 3. And I have an additional item to amend, and it's actually to fill out a blank on page 3 of the agreement. On the second full line, it's basically to include the ordinance number, which is 16-4214. At the time this was drafted, we didn't have an ordinance number, so now we do. So
1642-14.
16-4214.
What page is that, Victor?
That is on page 3 of the agreement, second line from the
Not
top.
the resolution, the agreement.
Okay, yeah. What's the number of the ordinance?
16-4214.
Thank you.
Okay.
Could you repeat the
Okay,
vote,
so if
Victor?
you would like to amend your motion, Commissioner Diaz?
As amended.
I move as amended, stating that the resolution number 16-4214 and
Correcting the scrivener.
correcting the typo on section 3 instead of the second section 2.
I second.
Okay, I have a motion as amended by Commissioner Diaz, second by Commissioner Suarez. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, 7, ratification of department head.
Six.
Six.
Oh,
No,
you
6,
Six.
the mayor
you
is.
gonna table it or?
You gotta read it first and then I can pull it.
Okay, item 6, a resolution of the mayor and the city commission of the city of Sweetwater, Florida, adopting the 2015 Miami-Dade County Local Mitigation Strategy, authorizing the mayor to identify and prioritize hazard mitigation grant program projects to become a part of the local and statewide hazard mitigation strategy and providing for an effective date. Mayor Lopez.
Okay, there's a scribbler's error on this. It's presented as a resolution as well as some changes in the body itself weren't made. I need to pull this and it'll come back up for the September meeting.
Okay,
Move.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Item 7, ratification of department heads.
Again, as I said in the last meeting, the one that's still ambiguous is right now is the building department, which is Manny Salazar. He's the department director. But the code says that the department director is also a building official, which in this case it's not. So this is one of the things that's going to be corrected, and this ITB is out. So again, I'm asking for this to get deferred till the end of the September.
The end of September?
Yep. Or when the ITB is brought, well, the ITB is going to actually may come back in September, so.
May I?
Commissioner?
Mr. Mayor, please, but not in Christmas, please. Now September. Exactly September?
I don't know, sir. It really depends on what's going to happen when the ITB comes out.
Okay. Thanks.
To the chair.
Sir?
Mayor, just a question. Now, you're going to try to have the building director as well as the building official exercising the same doing both positions at the same time?
No, right now, the code right now says that the building official is the building director, and vice versa, the building director is the building official. They were going to bring an amendment to that so that the building director is going to be an entity and the building official is going to be another one. Because otherwise, right now, it has to be the same person.
But then you're gonna have to probably provide, I think that having the person exercising both positions, you will save money and you probably condensate the resources in a more efficient way, having the same person doing both.
If you do that, then you're caught in a situation like right now, that Manny Salazar is the building director. But he's not a building official because he's not a certified building official.
Oh, I see.
That's why you want to split up the positions.
So why can't the guy who's the building official be the
Because
Director.
the building director is the one that runs the department. He's the one that's there Monday through Friday, 9 to
Why
5.
can't he do both?
He can, but then if you're in a situation again where you're missing a building director, you don't have a building official, you don't have a building director.
And?
By the county standards, by Bora, you have to have a building official.
It doesn't make sense.
We have been operating,
We've been doing it for
Carlo was doing it for
40 years. We've been doing it.
Because he was both.
Exactly.
Okay. I'll explain to you guys later on off the record. I'd really prefer to have this discussion off the record.
All right, I guess we have to make a motion on extending it till September, or legally, what do we have to do?
put in the next information.
Well, right now, no names have been submitted for ratification. The mayor is instructing is
Well,
informing the
actually,
commission.
I do, because the building director is Manny Salazar. But the code says that the building director has to be the building official. But the building official is Oscar Guerrero. So if you,
Why can't Oscar Guerrero be the building director?
then you gotta hire him full-time to be there 40 hours a week, and he won't do it because he's the building official out of the municipalities as well.
Excuse me, through the chair.
But is he working as an employee for the CSP Water?
Yes,
Okay, and he works for another company.
correct.
How can he work for a company?
And
work-
and all the building, and, because right now we have, let me explain to you tomorrow. I'll call you tomorrow. I'll call you personally tomorrow. I'll explain to you tomorrow.
Okay, so what were the options here?
Two things. I know that there's an acting building director, as the mayor stated, but no name is being presented here for ratification. Once a name is presented to you for ratification, theoretically, it's a permanent ratification. There's no such thing as a temporary ratification.
Right.
So what the mayor's basically asking this commission is to go ahead and basically allow him
Defer it for now.
to bring a name after the invitation to bid process has concluded, and he has a recommendation for the board, whatever that recommendation may be. Because for the time being, you don't have, as the code requires, both the building director and building official in both capacities being served by one person. You currently don't have that. So at this point, there could be a motion by this commission to basically say to go ahead and allow the ITB process to conclude sometime in September, so you can have the mayor's recommendation before this commission at that time. If you don't take any action, all that's going to happen is basically you may have this same conversation at every meeting. It's entirely up to the commission.
We've
Move
had,
to September,
Okay, I got a motion to
for September.
move to September, defer till September. Do I have a second? A second by Commissioner,
We're 2 weeks away from September. I think that the mayor was mentioning that
The
the
conclusion
ITB
of the
will be
ITB.
concluding at the end of September. So I'm not sure if the commission would entertain a change in that to perhaps October,
Would you like to do it
to
for
allow the
October?
ITB
Okay.
to conclude.
Okay, so the motion is for October 1st by Commissioner Duaso.
Right.
Second by Commissioner Maronio. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item 8, adjournment. Moved by
Second.
Commissioner Preca, second by Diaz and Duaso. All in favor?
Aye.